Hi, welcome to Yoga for First Responders. We'll just move through a gentle flow, hopefully giving you a chance to just breathe, to reconnect with the body and to rebalance the nervous system. So do what you can do. Feel free to take breaks as needed or even just stop altogether. And with that being said, here we go. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat on your mat. Try to find a nice tall spine, lifting tall through the crown of the head. Your hands can just rest lightly on the legs. Your legs can be crossed. You can have feet on the floor. You can be on your knees or even laying on your back. Really just find a space that's comfortable for you as we begin here. Let's roll out those shoulders a few times. Just kind of settle into your seat. Maybe move around, back and forth, forward and back. Eventually just finding some stillness. You're always welcome to close the eyes, or you can just find a gentle downward gaze. As we begin, try to first just bring awareness to the space that you're in. Notice if you can hear any sounds, what those sounds are. Maybe they're coming from outside the room, maybe from inside the room, maybe it's just the sound of my voice. But again, just notice what you hear. And then turning your awareness to maybe the air. Maybe you can feel the temperature or texture of the air on your skin. Or maybe you notice the air as you breathe it in through the nose or the mouth. And then see if you can notice or find your breath. No need to change the breath, just notice how you are breathing right now in this moment. Maybe you're breathing through the nose, maybe through the mouth. Maybe it's fast, maybe it's slow. And we're going to try a little breathing exercise. They call it the whisper breath or the Ujjayi breath. So as we begin, try just taking a deep breath in through the nose. And then as you breathe out, pretend like you're trying to fog up a mirror. So you just make that sound breathing out through the mouth. So a couple times like that. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Try to fog up the mirror in front of you. Once more like that. In through the nose. Try to create that sound as you breathe out through the mouth. And now we're just going to try to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, but we're going to create that same sound. So breathing in through the nose when you're ready, and out through the nose. Try to create that same sound, and if you notice, you have to press that air out through the back of your throat. It's a slight constriction through the back of the throat. But what that does is it helps us really bring our focus and make our breath more intentional. It also is the quickest way to engage the vagus nerve, which is the biggest nerve that runs through your parasympathetic nervous system to help calm the body. So just let's try 3 more breaths like that. In through the nose, out through the nose. Slowing down the exhale, making it a little bit louder. In through the nose. Out through the nose. One more time like that. See if you can hear the sound of your breath. Awesome. Go ahead and come back to your natural breath. If those legs are crossed, let's try crossing them the other way. The other leg in front or on top. If you're on your knees or on your back, feel free to stay right where you're at. Once again, just finding a nice tall spine. On the next breath in, let's reach those arms all the way out and up until you feel those hands connect at the top, and then we'll exhale them down to our heart center. Next breath in, reaching those hands all the way back up again, exhaling them out and down, maybe until you feel the hands connect with the floor, and then inhaling all the way up, exhaling hands to heart. Inhale, deep breath in, reaching all the way up. And exhale, hands out and down. Feel the floor underneath those fingertips. One more time. Inhale as you reach up. Maybe you turn the gaze up as well. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Inhaling all the way back up. And exhale, Hands find the floor. Let's keep those hands behind the body slightly. We're gonna draw those shoulders back and down. Maybe as we breathe in, we lift the heart up towards the ceiling, turn that gaze up as well, gently pressing into those fingertips, pressing the floor away from the body. And then exhale, go ahead and soften through the front of the body. Hands can come to the knees and just dropping the chin towards the chest. Inhale as you reach the heart forward and up. Draw those shoulders back and down, turning the gaze up. Exhale, relaxing through the front of the body, rounding through the back of the body. Few times, maybe you move forward and back with your breath, inhaling as you open, and exhaling as you round. Or if it feels nice to stay and hold anywhere along the way, you can always do that. Let's go 2 more breaths. Inhaling forward and up. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Exhale. As you draw the belly in, round through those shoulders one last time. And go ahead and make your way back to a neutral spine. On the next breath, let's reach those arms out and up one more time. This time on the exhale, right hand can come to the floor, left hand reaches straight up like you're trying to touch the ceiling above you. Inhale, reach up super high. Then exhale, maybe you bend and reach over toward the side. And go ahead and switch those arms. Inhale as you reach straight up. Reach up like you're trying to touch the ceiling. And then exhale, leaning over to the side. And slowly back to center. Okay, inhale both arms. All the way up. On the exhale, we're going to turn to the right, opening these arms. One hand comes to the knee, the other hand comes behind the body. And just turn that gaze behind the shoulder. Gentle twist here, and then we'll inhale back up through center, arms reach up high, and exhaling opposite side, turning the gaze behind. Inhaling all the way back up, and exhale, just side out through the mouth. Good work. Let's bring those hands in front. We're going to come forward onto hands and knees. So making your way onto your mat. We're going to bring the wrists directly under those shoulders, knees directly under those hips. So a little bit of space between the hands and the knees. Big starfish hands. You want space in between those fingertips. Tops of the feet can just rest lightly on your mat. Finding a nice solid base here, a little bend in those elbows, strong through those arms. Lower belly lifts up away from the floor. On our next inhale, we're just going to reach our right leg back behind us. Toes pointing down towards the floor. And the heel reaching away from the body. One more breath. Inhale, reach out through the heel, and on the exhale, we're going to step that foot over to the left side. Toes come to the floor, and then maybe try turning your gaze to that foot behind you. We'll inhale back up through center, and exhale, lowering that knee down. Next breath in, left leg lifts. Reaching that foot behind you, toes pointing down, heel reaching away from the body. Inhale as you reach back through the heel, and then exhale, stepping that foot over to the right side. Turn your gaze back towards those toes, maybe lean the hips to the left a little bit. And then inhaling back up to center, and exhale, lowering everything back down. Recentering on hands, on knees. Again, lower belly engaged, lifting it up away from the floor. On our next breath, let's reach our right foot back. This time we're going to add the arms. So maybe you reach the left arm forward, fingertips can stay on the floor, or you can reach them forward. On the breath in, reach forward, reach back. On the breath out, lowering it down. Inhaling, left leg reaches back. Right arm reaches forward. Inhale as you reach. Exhaling, lower. Let's try moving 3 times on each side with the breath. As you inhale, you lift opposite arm and leg. Exhale, lower down. Inhaling, opposite side. Exhaling, lower. Just moving slowly at your own pace with your own breath. One more time each side. Reaching in both directions. Exhale, slowly feel the mat underneath the fingers, underneath the knee. And last side. When all fours come back to the mat, go ahead and bring some space in between those knees, big toes together. We're going to reach those hips back and find our child's pose. In child's pose, your head can rest on the floor, or you can bring hands together and rest your head on your hands. This is a space where you can just pause and take a moment to check back in. Check back in with your breath, with how the body feels. The space in between your knees is completely up to you. They can be all the way together, far apart. Let's take about 3 more breaths here in your child's pose. An alternative, if this isn't comfortable, would be to come up to those knees or just have a seat on your mat. So 1 more full breath here. And then try reaching those arms forward as far as you possibly can. Palms on the floor, fingers connected with the mat. We're going to lift those hips just enough to tuck the toes. And then we're going to reach those hips back. And on the inhale, lifting the knees, lifting the hips, finding your downward dog. Maybe here we bend one knee towards the mat and then the other. As you reach the opposite heel down, just a few times walking out those heels. Maybe we shake that head out, yes and no. Release some tension, we hold on to the neck there. And then just relaxing both heels towards the floor, reaching the heart back towards those thighs. We'll turn the gaze forward and take little steps, making your way to the front of your mat. Once you get there, find a deep bend in those knees and very, very slowly making your way all the way up to standing. Shake it out, roll out those shoulders. All right, we're in our strong mountain pose. So taking a peek down at those feet, let's try to create space in between each one of those toes and then ground each toe into the mat, nice and strong. Grounding down into those feet, but then we want to lift tall through the crown of the head. So reaching in 2 directions. Maybe we draw those shoulders back and down, reaching down through those fingertips. Strong through the core, strong through the legs, strong through the arms. Let's find about 3 breaths here. See if you can find or create that Ujjayi breath that we started class with. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth or the nose. Creating that sound, slowing down the exhale. 1 more full breath. Our next inhale, when you feel ready to keep moving, we'll reach those arms all the way on up. And on the breath out, bring those hands together, finding your heart center. Let's bring those hands behind the body, interlacing the fingers. Draw those shoulders back and down, engaging or straightening through the arms. As we pause here, continue to ground down into both feet. We're just going to turn that gaze over the right shoulder. Nice and slow, coming back through center. We'll turn that gaze over the left shoulder. And slowly back to center, and on the exhale, let's just drop the chin towards the chest. Go ahead and relax those arms, relaxing the shoulders. Maybe we stay and hold right here, or you can move that chin side to side a few times. Bringing the chin back to center. On the inhale, slowly bringing the gaze back up. And let's reach those arms out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We're going to bend those knees, hinging at the hips, and fold forward. Maybe the hands find the floor, maybe they don't. It's okay either way. But on the breath in, we're just going to lift halfway. So maybe our hands find our legs, and we just draw those shoulders back and down. Gaze can turn down at the floor, nice long spine here. 1 more breath in as you reach forward through the crown of your head. And on the breath out, folding forward, hands find the floor. So bending those knees as much as you need to so your hands can connect with the floor. We're going to step our right foot to the back, and then the left, lifting those hips up high, downward dog. And then on the breath in, we're going to come forward to our plank. Plank is just like the top of a push-up. Exhale, we're going to lift those hips back up. Inhaling forward to your plank, nice and strong through the core. And exhale, hips lift. Opening up those shoulders 1 more time. Inhale, forward to your plank. Exhaling, hips lift up high. And this last time, as we come forward to our plank, we're going to bring both knees to the mat, untucking the toes, and exhale, elbows bend, lowering all the way down to the chest and the belly. On the inhale, baby cobra. Just lifting the heart and the shoulders. Elbows reaching back. Exhaling as you lower. Inhaling back up to those knees, tucking the toes, reaching the hips back, and then lifting those knees off the mat, downward dog. Turning your gaze forward in between your hands, taking little steps, making your way to the front of your mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Deep bend in those knees. Let's bring our arms with us this time as we inhale all the way up. And exhale, side out through the mouth. Few shoulder rolls. And move through that little series 2 more times. Just try to go 1 movement per breath. So on the inhale, we're going to reach the arms out and up. Exhaling, hands through heart, bending the knees, folding forward at the hips. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Hands find the floor. We step 1 foot back, and then the other, lifting those hips up high. Inhaling forward to your plank. Both knees come to the floor. Exhale, elbows bend, lowering all the way down. Inhaling, heart lifts as high as is comfortable. Exhaling, relax. Inhaling back up to those knees, reach those hips back. Then lift those knees off the floor, downward dog. Turning our gaze forward, stepping, or you can hop your feet to the front. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Deep bend in those knees and inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, side out. 1 more time through that series. Inhale, arms lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway. Exhaling, fold. Hands find the mat. We step 1 foot back, and then the other, lifting the hips up high. Inhaling forward to your plank. Exhaling, knees come down, bend those elbows, lowering all the way down, and inhaling, heart lifts, finding your cobra. Exhaling, relax. Inhaling back up to those knees, tucking the toes, reaching those hips back, and then lifting the knees, downward dog. Let's take a nice deep breath in here, and out through the mouth. Once more like that, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Turning that gaze forward, taking a few little steps to the front of your mat. Once you get there, inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Deep bend in those knees, very slowly making your way up to standing. And exhale, side out. Awesome. Hopefully you're feeling nice and warmed up by now. Continue to move on, but before we do that, we're going to find our strong mountain pose once again, grounding down into our feet, lifting through our legs, through our belly, through the crown of the head, reaching those arms down towards the floor. Let's find 3 breaths here. Finding your Ujjayi breath, slowing down your exhale. Alright, next inhale. If you feel ready to keep moving, you can always stay in mountain pose. We'll inhale those arms back up, and on the exhale, finding your forward fold, hinging at the hips, always keeping a little bend in those knees. Let's bring both hands all the way to the floor. We're going to step our right foot to the back. We're going to lower this right knee down to the floor, untucking the toes. Grounding down into this front heel, very slowly making your way up into a kneeling lunge. Bringing those arms with you. And on the exhale, we're going to bend the elbows, call those cactus arms. So we drop the elbows down and back toward one another. The shoulders draw down as well. And we lift through the heart. Inhaling back up. And exhaling, cactus arms. Inhale, arms lift. Once more, exhale, cactus arms. And as we inhale here, we're going to bring hands together at the top. Then exhaling, hands to our heart center. Deep breath in as we lift tall through the crown of the head. On the breath out, we're going to turn to the left. Finding a gentle twist. Now as we pause here, you can stay just as you are with the knee on the floor, or to deepen the twist, you can bring elbow to knee, or more intensity, you can lift that back knee off the floor. 3 breaths, holding wherever feels comfortable for you. Next inhale, we'll slowly come back to center. Bringing both hands all the way to the floor. Let's lift that back knee off the mat to create space to step back, downward dog. Maybe walk out those heels a few times. And then we'll inhale forward to our plank. You can come to the knees and lower like we did before, or you can stay on the toes and just lower halfway down. And then inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, making your way back, downward dog. Let's bend our right knee this time. We're going to bring the right knee forward till that foot can come to the front of the mat. Sometimes we need to reach back and help our ankle through. Go ahead and lower that left knee down, untucking the toes. Oh, you might fall over. And then on the inhale, let's lift those arms all the way up. And exhale, cactus arms. Dropping the elbows, dropping the shoulders. Inhaling up. Exhaling, cactus arms. Inhale and lift. One more time. Exhaling here. Inhaling all the way back up, and as we exhale, hands find our heart center. Deep breath in as we lift through the low belly. Exhaling as we find a twist to the right. Maybe turning that gaze with the arms. You can stay right here, or you can bring elbow to knee, or you can lift the back knee off the floor. Your choice, it's your body. Find what works for you today. 3 breaths. Maybe we breathe through the nose, maybe through the mouth. Trying to lengthen that exhale. As you're ready, slowly make your way back to center, releasing both hands to the floor, lifting the back knee off the mat so you can step back, downward dog. One more time through that flow as you inhale forward to your plank, knees or toes. Exhale, elbows bend, grazing along the sides. Inhale, heart reaches forward and up. Exhale, and lifting those hips up high, downward dog, and then go ahead and lower to both knees, bringing big toes together, and we'll reach those hips back, finding your child's pose. Few breaths here. Just notice, maybe you can feel the heart beating. Maybe you can feel the movement of your chest or your belly as you breathe. You can always exhale out through the mouth. Let some of that energy go. Let's take one more full breath here. When you feel ready, again, you can always stay here in child's pose, but if you feel ready to continue moving, we'll extend those arms forward, palms on the floor. Slowly lifting the hips, tucking the toes, lifting those knees, finding your downward dog. Let's turn that gaze forward. You can bend both knees and hop, or you can step to the front of your mat. Once you get there, deep bend in those knees, very slowly make your way all the way back up to standing. Back to your mountain pose. Maybe shake out those legs, the arms. Okay, ready for some balance? Let's bring those hands to our heart center. So starting on our right side, right leg. Try to create some space in between those right toes. Grounding down into each toe, into the center of the heel. Strong through that right leg. Slowly we might start to lift our left heel. You can just bring the heel right above the ankle, opening the knee out to the side. Maybe if this challenges your balance, you stay here, and that's great. If this feels a little easy for you today, you can always try lifting that foot a little higher up the leg. Really anywhere on the leg except right against the knee. We don't want to add any extra pressure against that knee joint. So find what works for you today. Again, it might be different than yesterday. It might be different than what your friend is doing. But just know whatever you're doing is totally okay and what your body needs today. So as you find your balance here, it oftentimes helps to find a spot to focus on. I like to find a spot on the floor, a spot that doesn't move, to gently gaze at. Another thing that helps is to engage through the core. That lower belly drawn in and up, nice and strong. If you'd like to explore, play around with those arms, you can reach the arms up towards the ceiling, maybe out to the sides. You can even move them around a little bit. Let's go 3 breaths wherever you are holding. Trying to relax, soften through those shoulders. It's okay to smile, it's okay to fall. Just don't push your neighbor over. And then when you feel ready, try to come on out as slowly as you came in. Bringing both feet back to the mat. Maybe you roll out that standing ankle, shake out the leg. Okay, before we move on to the opposite side, let's bring both hands behind the body to the low back. We're going to roll those shoulders back and down. And on the breath in, maybe we turn that gaze up towards the ceiling and gently reach those hips forward. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears, elbows draw toward one another. And then go ahead and slowly come back to center, relaxing those arms. As you're ready, opposite side. So let's shift our weight over into the left leg, left foot. We'll bring those hands back to our heart center, connecting the fingertips and the palms. Creating space in between those left toes. Trying to press evenly into all 4 points of the foot. And then when you feel ready, we'll lift that right heel. You can just rest it above the ankle, maybe you just stay here. Engaging through that core, standing up nice and tall. Maybe that foot comes a little higher, maybe it stays on the floor, whatever works for you. Oftentimes one side is a little easier to balance on than the other. Sometimes this hip likes to take over and comes out to the side. So if you find that happening, try to just stand up nice and tall. Maybe keep the hands at heart center. Maybe bring them out to the sides or up towards the ceiling. Wherever you want to take it today. 3 more breaths. When you are ready, slowly lower those hands back down, release the foot back to the floor. Go roll out that standing ankle, shake it all out. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and have a seat on your mat. So we're going to bring these feet flat to the floor. Knees pointed up towards the ceiling, and let's bring our hands to the front of those knees. Just like we did in the beginning of the class when we had a seat, we're just going to move through the spine a little bit, as we've been doing a lot through the core and the back. So on the inhale, we're just going to lift up tall, draw those shoulders back and down. And on the exhale, just round through the back, drawing the belly in, bringing the chin closer to the chest. Inhaling as you come forward and up, and exhaling as you round it out. So one more time with your breath. Inhaling here. Exhaling, soften. Okay, we're gonna walk these feet out a little bit, but try keeping these knees nice and bent. We're gonna bring these hands, we're gonna wrap our arms around the bottom of our legs, just like you're giving yourself a big hug. Maybe the hands connect with the elbows, maybe the forearms, the upper arms, however far you can reach. As you breathe in, try to sit up nice and tall. So try to draw those shoulders back and down, try to find some length through the back. And then on the breath out, we're just gonna fold over these legs. And you can keep the legs as they are, or if you want to take it a little deeper, you can walk those heels out further away from the body. But still try to continue to reach the chest a little closer to the thighs. So just a little fold, a little stretch for that low back. Just allowing the head and the neck to relax. One more full breath here. And then the next inhale, releasing the arms, using the hands to slowly help yourself back up to a seat. And maybe you just extend those legs out, shake them out a little bit on the floor. Okay, we're going to extend this left leg out to the diagonal. We're going to bring the right foot in alongside the inside of the leg here. And let's bring our left arm, palm facing up, and the arm along the inside of the leg. As you breathe in, try reaching the opposite arm straight up towards the ceiling, and then maybe over towards your foot. Opening through the side body. And as you breathe in, slowly come all the way back up. We're going to bring this right hand behind the body, and the left hand's going to come to the knee. We inhale, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale as we find a twist, so looking over that back shoulder. And then slowly making your way back to center. Switching those legs, we'll extend the right leg out, the left foot comes in. The right arm can come alongside the inside of the leg, palm facing up, so you can use the arm to gently press against the leg to help turn and open the side of the body. So inhaling to reach left arm up, turning your gaze up at the hand, and then maybe you reach up and over towards that foot. Inhale as we come all the way back up. Bringing that left hand behind, right hand to the knee. Inhale as you sit up nice and tall. And then exhale as you twist, looking over that back shoulder, grounding down into that right heel. If the right hip wants to lift off the floor a little bit, that's totally fine. Try to find your breath. Notice how you are breathing. And then slowly making your way back to center. Okay, let's bring both feet back to the mat once again. Go ahead and scoot to the front of your mat. And this time, you're going to bring hands to the back of those knees. And then you're just going to roll all the way down onto your back. And once you get there, maybe bring those knees with you into your chest. And you can just rock side to side a few times. Just rolling out that lower back, allowing it to release. And then as those knees come back to center, straightening out the left leg, we'll keep the right knee drawn in towards the body. Using the hands on the top of that knee, just going to find a few circles with that right knee. So use the hands to guide the knee around in a few circles. Relaxing the hip. Maybe try going the opposite direction with those circles a couple times. And as the knee comes back to center, we're going to guide the knee over to the left side. So rolling onto the left hip. Then the right arm is going to reach out to the right, the left arm is going to reach to the left. That knee might hover over the floor, it might come all the way to the floor. Either way is fine. And then just turning your gaze to the right if that feels comfortable on your neck. Finding about 3 breaths here, trying to breathe in deeply into the belly. And as you breathe out, just allowing the body to relax and soften into this twist. On the next inhale, slowly guiding that knee back to center. Let's bring both feet flat to the floor, knees pointing up, and just pause here in center for a moment. Maybe notice the difference between the right side and the left side of the body, if any. And then when you're ready, we'll extend that right leg out on the floor, drawing the left knee in towards the body, hands on the top of the knee, and then just gently guiding the knee around in a few circles. And just allowing that hip to relax as much as possible. And then a couple times the opposite direction. And as the knee comes back to center, slowly guiding it over to the right side, rolling onto the right hip, and then we'll open both arms out to the sides. The shoulders might lift off the floor, that's okay. As you turn your gaze to the left, just a few breaths here. Feeling those shoulders open or relax a tiny bit more with each breath out. And as you're ready, next breath in, just slowly guiding the knee back up to center, releasing both feet to the floor, knees pointing up. And just pause here in center for a few more breaths. Now for this last part of class, you can totally stay right here, or you can extend those legs all the way out in front of you. Maybe those arms come along your sides. Getting ready for Shavasana. I'm going to sit up just so you can hear me better, but feel free to stay down on your back. And then just go ahead and make any adjustments to help yourself feel a little more comfortable here for this last part of class. You're welcome to walk those feet out toward the corners of your mat, or maybe walk those shoulder blades a little closer together underneath the body. And as we settle in, let's try taking a few breaths together. Taking a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just once more like that. And then just go ahead and come back to your natural breath. Just whatever feels comfortable for you. That breath that you breathe without even thinking about it. Try to notice the mat underneath the body, where your body is connected with the mat. And as you continue to breathe with each breath out, sinking a little deeper, a little heavier into those connection points as the body starts to relax and let go a little bit more. As you continue to stay with your natural breath, try bringing awareness to the belly. Notice and watch. See if you can feel any kind of movement in the belly as you breathe. You might feel a slight rise of the belly as you breathe in. Maybe it softens as you breathe out. Maybe you don't feel anything there at all, and that's okay too. But just try to stay with the breath and the belly for a few moments. awareness up to the ribs, the area around your lungs. Again, just staying with your natural breath. Watch and see what happens throughout the ribs as you breathe. They might expand slightly as you breathe in, just allowing space for the lungs to fill. And maybe they contract and come back toward the center of the body as you breathe out. And then moving that awareness up to the chest and the heart. Same theme here. Staying with your breath. Just watch, notice if you can feel any movement, any sensation in the chest as you breathe. Maybe you feel a slight rising in the upper chest as you breathe in, and a falling as you breathe out. Moving that awareness up to the throat and the nose. A few breaths here. Noticing the air as it comes into the nose, into the throat. Maybe you can feel a temperature or texture of the air as you breathe it in. Maybe it's a different temperature as you breathe out. For the next few breaths, try making that breath a little bit deeper, connecting all the parts of the breath together. So maybe as you breathe in, you might feel the belly rise, the ribs expand, the chest rise. And on the breath out, you feel everything soften, coming back toward the center of the body. Feeling this inhale and this exhale. Knowing that the breath is a tool that you always have with you to help calm the body, calm the nervous system, or just to help yourself come back to center amidst the chaos that's going on around you. Just by bringing awareness to the breath and slowing down the exhale. As you feel ready, maybe start to flutter those eyes open, allowing light to come back in. Just looking around for a moment, maybe notice what your eye is drawn to first. And beginning to bring some movement back into the body, you can start by moving the fingers and the toes, and the wrists and the ankles. Maybe you reach those arms up overhead and just take a big stretch from fingertip to toe. So begin to wake the body back up. And then drawing those knees into the chest. Feel free to roll over onto one side. Just pausing there for a moment. One last time, just checking in with how or what you might be feeling. And then as you feel ready, you can help yourself back up to a seat. So we're just going to take 2 more breaths together as we finish up. So finding a nice tall spine, finishing your exhale. On the next breath in, let's reach those arms out and up. Feeling the hands connect, and then exhaling down to your heart. One more breath as we breathe in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll take the time to breathe. Namaste.